I'm live. Hi, friends. I was actually watching myself talk on one of my videos, and my eye contact was not great. And the reason why my eye contact is not great in my videos is because right now, when I'm looking at the camera and I'm looking at you, I can see myself looking into another soul. And when I look away, it's because I'm listening within myself. That's the process. That is what is going on. So I wanted to talk a minute. I've had 3 inquiries lately about treatment in the last few days. What is treatment? So I want to make it crystal clear what a treatment is. So what we're doing here on this video, when we're together and we're meditating and we're rising above the battleground, these little meditations here are a treatment. We are going up together. Whoever can allow themselves to rise above the battleground of the thinking mind, of the human mind, of the carnal mind, of the ego mind, all the same thing, you rise above, and that touch of Christ is a treatment. That's why I keep asking you to notice, how do you feel? How do you feel right now before this treatment? And how do you feel afterwards? Sometimes after these treatments, I find myself in joy. And you can't attribute it to anything else. That's why Jesus called it the peace that passeth understanding. So when Mary Baker Eddy did treatments, did healings, she never addressed what was going on with the person at the level of the world. She was known to say, stop that lying. When a person would try to start telling their story, the world mind, the carnal mind, is filled with jealousy. It's filled with envy. It is filled with revenge. It has problems. It wants to suffer. It rose up a whole world, and then it sneaks into the mind of man. That's the second creation. And then it is responding and reacting to its own creations. That was a big turning point for me in my understanding with A Course in Miracles. Herb Fitch, something just clicked inside of my mind like, oh my gosh. The whole world, physical world, arose from the carnal mind, from the ego, and then it comes into the mind of man, and it is reactive, and it is suffering to its own miscreation. That's truly insanity. And Jesus calls the ego insanity all the time in A Course in Miracles. It's insane. Joel Goldsmith and Herb Fitch pay no attention. They say it's not real. So now we do a treatment. We go into the quiet and we rise above. So whatever is bothering you, you leave it. We start relaxing our bodies and you leave it at the altar. I've had 3 phone calls today, just people leaving me messages, wanting a treatment. I hear the message, the treatment happens right away. If you want a longer session, then we do this. We video and meditate together on Facebook. If you want to tell me poquito, a little bit of the story, that's okay, little bit, but I don't need to hear it. I don't need to hear it because everything that is grabbing us at the level of the world is an error in thought. Error in thought. We leave the battleground. When Jesus says, leave the battleground, we will be leaving the mind, world mind. We leave it completely. There's no figuring things out in world mind. And what forgiveness is, we practice forgiveness often in these meditations. I'm doing it again tonight. Jesus' number one teaching, the number one thing he said when he came down off of the Sermon on the Mount, is he talked about forgiveness. And if you go to God, if I go to God, before we approach God, if we have aught with our brother, that's the language. He says you drop everything and you go to your brother. Well, that's not always practical to do at the level of the world. So we can drop everything out of our mind, pray for our brother, and then we approach God. We've been doing that in these meditations. You'll experience it in the ones that are titled forgiveness. So right now, please start relaxing your shoulders. And this is such a vital thing. When I come into my room or I'm in the living room and I know I'm going to be doing a meditation, I start setting things up for myself. I make sure my chair is comfy. I get a good pillow for myself. I have some nice lighting over here. I make sure no one's going to be bothering me. I turn my phone off. I apologize. My earlier video today, the phone rang. Like this is time for God, man. Start relaxing your shoulders as soon as you hear the sound of my voice when these videos start. It's the biggest place where the relaxation occurs. And I know that we don't need to have any special practices, any special teachings other than dwelling in the Word. When I was in my late 20s, I was a student of A Course in Miracles. I was big time into pondering. I experienced revelation twice. It brought me to my knees with my face awash with tears. I felt like the lighting in the room went to 1,000 watts. It was beautiful. It happened in the same spot 2 times on my oval pink and white striped bathroom rug. And I was just pondering all the time. The power of pondering. The power of being still. There's nothing to achieve here. There's nowhere to go but within. Then we literally place ourselves, our consciousness, into the hands of God. So as we relax, we welcome this consciousness to completely take over our awareness. We're going to listen to a little bit of Herb Fitch right now together. We're going to listen to a clip. And as you're listening, allow your body to become more relaxed than ever and tip your chin up a little bit to set your intention for higher realms of consciousness. Away we go.
There is no law to maintain it, and it must dissolve. Now we're walking in our kingdom. We are being fed by a different source. Our source is the bread of life. Our source is our own selfhood. We are being fed from the kingdom within by our own self, by the firstborn. We have renounced the creature. We have renounced the mortal self. We have renounced the mortal body. For spiritual flesh is not a mortal body. Then what about this mortal body? What are we to do with it? We ought to make it a servant of the Most High. As we step out of the third dimensional consciousness, we step out of the limitations of the flesh. We step out of the belief in disease. We step out of the belief in sickness. We step out of mortality, out of corruptibility. We step out of the evils of the flesh. We step into the realization that I am self-complete. I am supply. I am life. I am the life force. I am love. I am truth. I am perfection. I am health. I am all these things because I am the firstborn. He in whom the fullness of God is. To the firstborn, the father said, Son, all that I have is thine. Am I that one? There is really no one here who can anymore declare that I am not that one. And being that one, I am now that place where the fullness of infinity is realized. I am no longer walking with my strength. I am no longer planning with my mind. I am no longer living as the creature. I am no longer limiting myself to the limitations of the creature. I am no longer waiting for death. Do you see then that infinity stands behind you, pouring its fullness through you as you accept yourself to be the firstborn and not the creature? As you know yourself to be spiritual flesh, you realize that spiritual flesh is forever.
The most important takeaway in that little clip right there is it's the creature who suffers. Did you catch that? The child of God, the Christ of you, never suffers. Ever. It's the uninvited guest within. And the more we be still, the Christ of us expands and the creature dissolves. The more we perceive the Christ in the innocence of our brothers, the more we know our own. And that's forgiveness. So let's get relaxed now. Allow all expression to leave the face. We're now neutralizing ourselves as body. We're in a position now to completely let go. Our hands and arms and shoulders are completely relaxed. Our face is void of expression. Our chin pointed heavenward. This relaxation moves down our back, through our hips and over our thighs and knees, through our calves and shins and down around our ankles, our feet which carry us all day long. So relaxed right now. Let's just sit a moment in this relaxation. Let's just sit quietly in the hand of God. Forgiveness is nothing more, nothing less than looking by creature, looking beyond creature and all of its false effects. The false effects of creature, of anger, of envy. We look beyond it. Betrayal, addiction. This is all creature, none of it real. And we are doing a treatment now into our willingness to look beyond. It must fall down. Bring forth the situation in your mind right now, anything that may have you, anything that is blocking your peace. Call it forward in your mind now. What is behind this? Is it creature or is it Christ? What is this in effect of? Now you can see. You can see now. If your experience is not one of the peace that passeth understanding, this is an effect of creature. And we are in forgiveness right now. Its miscreations are nothingness. Who abandons? Is there abandonment in the Christ? No. The creature only knows of rejection and abandonment. Is the creature real? What is real? Relax. Relax. Fear not. Relax into the hand of God. Let it go. Take a sigh breath and let's rise above. If you find your mind wandering, just relax more, relax your body. When one comes to mind that you've had trouble loving, say to them, I see you, brother. I see your Christ. I see you. Thank you for being here. And remember, Christ or creature. One is true about every soul you even think of, near or far, in the world or not. Christ or creature. And what is true of them is true of you, and that's forgiveness. I wrote in washable marker on my fridge, Christ, nice and big, and then creature to remind me. And it really helped me today because I had to scoot and hit the road without meditating, which I never do and I don't like doing. But when I saw that on my fridge, it was starting to bring me back into contemplation. Good night and bless you.